Hey there, movie lovers. Welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're marching into the world of military misfits with the 1981 comedy classic Stripes. Starring Bill Murray, Harold Ramis and John Candy, this hilarious film gave us boot camp chaos and unforgettable one-liners. But how much do you really know about what went on behind the scenes? So fall in, soldiers, and get ready for 20 things you never knew about Stripes. Director Ivan Reitman developed the concept for a pro-army comedy centered on two best friends joining the military, and enlisted screenwriters Len Blum and Daniel Goldberg to write the screenplay. Reitman explained that the idea came to him just before the premiere of Meatballs in Toronto, Canada. He believed it was the right time for another service comedy, as the post-Vietnam era marked a period of peace. Wanting to avoid another protest film, he envisioned a comedic take on the army. His original concept involved the comedy duo Cheech and Chong joining the military, which was the direction Blum and Goldberg initially took in their script. Although Cheech and Chong's involvement could have resulted in a highly entertaining film, it was unlikely to happen. The pair were experiencing enormous success after the surprise hit Up in Smoke in 1978, and were focused on their own projects. Tommy Chong directed their films, and with Cheech and Chong's next movie and Nice Dreams both released before Stripes, they had no interest in starring in a project led by someone else. Knowing that the studio didn't want him for the role and feeling more confident in his writing than his acting, Harold Ramis was initially hesitant to play Russell Ziske. In fact, Dennis Quaid, who was married to PJ Soles at the time, even auditioned for the part. However, Bill Murray intervened, insisting that he would only take on the project if Ramis played the role alongside him. One of the reasons Stripes succeeded was the authentic military environment in which it was filmed. The Army's decision to support the production proved pivotal. According to screenwriter and producer Daniel Goldberg, that backing made it really easy to get troops during filming. It removed any negativity from the movie, and that support made it a very enjoyable experience for everyone because they were truly embraced by the Army. Warren Oates provided the film's only genuine military connection. After leaving high school, Oates enlisted in the US Marine Corps in 1946, serving as an aircraft mechanic for 2 years. He achieved the rank of corporal before being discharged in 1948. It was during his time at the University of Louisville that he discovered theatre, setting him on a path to becoming an actor. The spatula scene in Stripes was filmed at 3 a.m. and was entirely improvised by Bill Murray. The unscripted moment became one of the most memorable in the film. Also, when the soldiers were all gathered around telling their backstories, a lot of the dialogue was improvised, including John's random cow-stealing story and when he called Sergeant Holker a big toe. In the original theatrical release, quite a few scenes were left on the cutting room floor that got put back into the extended edition DVD. One of these scenes was the 9-minute acid trip scene, where John and Russell, who had taken a load of LSD, embark on a bizarre mission to escape, but end up being captured by rebels in the Colombian jungle. Ivan Reitman felt it didn't exactly fit the tone of the film, so it was cut. When Stella and John get it on in General Barnick's house, take notice of the bed when they emerge out of the trunk. This scene was actually from when they rendezvoused in Germany later in the film. Their saucy get-together there was also originally cut, and the trunk emergence clip was moved to Barnick's house. Look at the bed and you can easily tell. Bill Murray and PJ Soles underwent a 3-day boot camp to prepare for their roles. Originally, both Murray and Soles planned to wake up at 5 a.m. and join real soldiers for 2 weeks military-style training. However, the intense physical training didn't quite go as planned. The actors quickly realised that the demands of military boot camp were far more rigorous than anticipated, and their time spent with the soldiers was much shorter than originally intended. If you're enjoying the video, a subscribe to the channel would be like joining the greatest misfit platoon of all time. John Larroquette, who played the character of the sarcastic and slightly pompous Captain Stillman, had an unfortunate accident during filming that resulted in a permanent scar on his nose. One of the scenes where his character discovers that the EM-50 military vehicle has been stolen, Larroquette ran into a door while filming. Warren Oates chipped his tooth during the filming of one of the obstacle course scenes. Unbeknownst to him, Ivan Reitman had instructed the actors to grab Holker and drag him through the mud. After the incident, Oates screamed at Reitman, clearly upset, but he quickly suggested they could simply shoot from the other side of his face to continue filming, before seeing a dentist. Initially, the mortar incident was supposed to kill Sergeant Holker. Luckily, this idea was scrapped before filming. Ivan Reitman has said that the moment when Murray was putting luggage in the trunk of the cab, he accidentally hit himself in the crotch. When he said, "Oh my balls," it was a completely genuine reaction to hitting himself. Reitman encouraged John Larroquette to improvise lines while his character was looking at naked women in the shower. Larroquette in the moment came up with the line, "I wish I was a loofah." After the scene, Reitman yelled "cut" and had to ask Larroquette what a loofah was, revealing that he wasn't entirely familiar with the term. The recruits sing along to "Doo-Wah Diddy Diddy" during a moment of camaraderie. However, it turns out that only John Candy and Conrad Dunn, who played Psycho, actually knew the lyrics to the song. Dunn recalled they had to teach it to the rest of the actors on set. Most of the cast were apparently drunk for 2 weeks following John Lennon's death. John Larroquette later admitted that he was intoxicated during the scene where his character dressed down the company after they watched and participated in mud wrestling. Even after the production moved to Los Angeles, the drunken antics continued. Bill Murray and Warren Oates spent an evening drinking beside the grave of the late actor Strother Martin. Ivan Reitman came up with the mud wrestling scene at the last minute. He had to talk John Candy through the scene because he was very uncomfortable filming it. Stripes was one of the early films to use the Steadicam for filming, contributing to its visual style. One standout example is the graduation scene, which audiences continue to love for its dynamic look and feel. Director Ivan Reitman credited Garrett Brown, the inventor of the Steadicam, for the scene's success. Although uncredited for his work on the film, Brown supervised the use of the Steadicam for that sequence. Today, the Steadicam is a familiar tool in filmmaking, but when invented in 1975, it was revolutionary. The device isolates the camera from the operator's movements, allowing for smooth tracking shots even over uneven ground. Reitman revealed that during the scene where the recruits received their basic training haircuts, he didn't inform the actors beforehand that real army barbers would be shaving their heads. He lined them up and filmed the scene as scripted, capturing their genuine reactions as their heads were shaved. John Candy in particular became noticeably depressed after the scene was filmed. This is reflected in his performance as he can be seen picking up his hair and looking visibly upset as he leaves the barbershop. The Army allowed production to film at Fort Knox, and the producers quickly realised that the Kentucky woods served as an excellent stand-in for the Czechoslovakian border. This decision not only helped keep the budget down, but also brought filming closer to home for a few of the actors. Warren Oates was from the small town of Depoy, Kentucky, while Sean Young, appearing in her first major film role, hailed from Louisville. The filming in Kentucky happened to be in a dry state, which means no alcohol can be sold. John Candy, flabbergasted by this, ended up getting an adjoining room in the hotel and filled the bathtub with ice and beer so the cast could hang out. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about Stripes. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.